My name is Ralf Friedrichs. I'm an addiction and recovery coach, a life coach, and author, and the host of this show, the Take Your Life Back to Today show. Let's talk about the 12 reasons why hitting rock bottom is the best thing that can ever happen to you. About 6 years ago, I had a flat-out hit rock bottom, emotional, financial, and mentally and spiritual awakening. The crash was a painful one in every way, and I finally had no choice but to face myself brutally, painfully, and honestly. Years later, I look back with an immense gratitude for the incredible gifts that time bestowed upon me. It instilled me with deep trust, and the universe actually did have my back, contrary to external appearances and bank balances. God had my back. You might think I'm crazy for saying this, but I will do it all again in a heartbeat for the incredible insights and growth I gained through what were the most definitely deepest, darkest hours of my life. But like any good adventure, it's only worthwhile if you come back having learned some solid lessons that with wisdom to share from having survived the crash and burn. And so, with 2020 hindsight, here are my 12 top reasons why everyone should aim to hit rock bottom at least once in their lifetime, whether it's with addiction or not. At the bottom, you realize how far off course you were and that your life choices were simply not sustainable. It's in those dark moments of despair that your anger and frustration become so great, and you declare once and for all to never again accept such mediocrity from yourself or from others. Number 2, at the bottom, all your dysfunctional behaviors are finally revealed. If you never hit your lowest point, the dysfunctions continue to go unnoticed and unchecked, playing out under the denial radar and inevitable creating bigger dysfunction and harder fall down the track. Until the bubble bursts, you clearly delude yourself into thinking that everything is just great, and your life ends up being built in a big fat lie and false foundation. Number 3, hitting rock bottom is the beginning of questioning everything that you've ever thought to be true. You question your motives, other people's motives, your beliefs, your fears. Why didn't things happen, and why you attracted certain people and certain circumstances, while you succeeded, while you failed. The very fabric of your life is turned upside down and examined in raw detail. It's from this point that you build again, from the ground up, with fresh perspective based on your renewed sense of clarity. At the bottom, your disempowering patterns and behaviors become glaringly obvious, and triggers that kept you repeating those behavior patterns come into sharp focus. You realize that hitting rock bottom was only to happen, but necessary to happen, because those behaviors were simply not conducive to your growth. On top of that, and perhaps most importantly, all the roles you've been playing pop into your conscious awareness. It becomes clear that you have been a kind of puppet, playing the same role over and over again, creating the same dynamics over and over, and keeping the drama going over and over like a well-played actor in a soap opera. It's not until you break the mold and start the journey back to your true self that you stop playing those old roles, scratched records, and begin to create new conscious outcomes. Number 5, you realize that at the bottom you were in fact not where you thought you were in life. You let your ego run and show with grandiose ideas about what you could do, not knowing you didn't yet have the foundation to successfully accomplish those things. Ego's death grip loosens when you come to this realization. You start to trust your life and choose to live in the moment more often. As you surrender to your higher self and to God, more and more you align with your right purpose and right life path, and it feels dynamite. Number 6, you gain humility. You see that life is not black and white, and that you don't know everything. In fact, you realize you know very little, and you decide to become a student of life rather than a juror. Number 7, you gain compassion. You understand what it's like for people in the depths of despair and shame and guilt and fear, because you've been there. You can't help but come back from the bottom feeling like immense empathy with the human condition. Number 8, you're able to let go of everything because nothing is working anyway. Letting go of the old creates space for the new and soon ideas. It creates people, opportunity, and talents and gifts to start flooding into your experience and into your life. As you empty your cup, so to speak, you fill it back up with the stuff that you actually want instead of accepting what was unconsciously passed into your life. Life hands you a fresh cup of coffee of reality each and every morning. After you've hit bricks, you perhaps for the first time begin to accept full responsibility for all the outcomes in your life. You see that blaming is futile, that complaining is dumb, and that making excuses is for the unenlightening. You realize it was you who created all good and all the bad in your own life. You dug the hole in which you're trapped at this present moment, and only you can dig yourself out of that in order to finally become whole. Number 10, the good news is once you've hit rock bottom, you know you can't possibly go any lower. You realize that the bottom is actually a great springboard from which to push yourself up to the surface, away from the darkness and back into the light. Number 11, hitting rock bottom wakes you up to how you're relying on externals to make you happy. Instead of needing outside validation, you begin to trust yourself and start the journey within to find your own sense of self, your own sense of purpose, and your own validation. This new inner sanctuary becomes the foundation for your happy and meaningful new life. And number 12, last but not least, and finally, after hitting your lowest point, you become enormously grateful for all you have from that time forward. You're sure that your situation can only get better from here, and it does. Simply things, a smile from a stranger, fresh food in the fridge, warm clothes on your body, a comfy bed, your good health become things to treasure in life. Your existence is a constant prayer of gratitude to God and to yourself for having the courage to move beyond hard times, choose life when you could have chosen a number of other options just to make the pain go away. The gems mined in your darkest moments are what gives you depth, it gives you courage, it gives you wisdom and richness that can't be learned anywhere else. Your ability to fly is in a direct proportion to your willingness and courage to face your version of rock bottom. If you've ever been there and bounced back to tell the story, you know exactly what I mean. You know what I'm talking about. If you're currently sitting on rock bottom and still chafing your behind, you're probably cursing this post. Sorry about the train, but as awesome as someone's been there, done that, and got the t-shirt, I can tell you that your years are to come, you'll appreciate the experience and the chafing, as the best things that ever happened to you are still on their way. Only once you are willing to explore your darkest depths can you truly be able to be service in the world. Only when all foundations crumble can you begin to build again on new and solid ground. This is the gift of rock bottom. I ask you, I beg you to aim for it. If you like this video, encourage someone else who might be at the rock bottom or close to it by sharing this video with them. And remember to always call me at 844-4085-HELP, because we can help each other take our lives back. Everyone, please be good to yourselves, and just as important, you need to start being good to each other. A simple smile to a total stranger can change that stranger's whole life, and it can even help you and change your life. May God bless you. May God bless America. Again, sorry about the train, but that's all part of the show. But I will tell you this, folks. God loves you. Change your ways and